Hey everyone, it's Kayla from The Casual Crafter, and today we're going to be doing even more Valentine's Day DIYs. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and let's go ahead and get right into the video. So here I'm just taking this wire wreath ring that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be cutting out the smallest one. They have another form that is just the individual rings that might be a little bit easier, but I'm just cutting that center one out. I will say it was a little bit hard to do. Now here I'm cutting it so that I can string some beads on it. I ended up getting like 6 packs of these ping pong balls at Dollar Tree, and first I tried just poking a hole in them with the wire. That didn't work very well. Then I saw people using a glue gun to do this, and you just melt the plastic, and it worked really well. So I'm just going to go through, I think I went through about 5 packs of them total, and just strung them all on. I use that skewer to kind of help me widen the hole if I need to, because there's a couple bumps on the wreath ring that I had that gave me some issues. You also don't need to use as many ping pong balls as I did. If you're adding the florals at the bottom, they can kind of hide some of that extra space you might have. And this definitely isn't a new idea. I've seen other people do this before. But we're going to try and make those ping pong balls look like wood beads, because wood beads can be fairly expensive, and these were $1 for 6 of them, so. So once I got all the ping pong balls on there, I just went through and I duct taped the ends together so that they would stick together, and this seemed to work pretty well. Then I just gave these balls a coat of spray paint, and that was in the almond color. And then I'm going to be going over these with some acrylic paint and some chalk paint, because the paint I bought was glossy and I wanted them to be more matte, and I thought it would look more realistic as wood beads. So I'm just taking that tan color and some off-white Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to be kind of dry brushing that on. So once that's done and dry, I'm actually going to go in with a darker color, some more of that tan paint, then just a little bit of this brown paint, and I added a little bit too much here because it was way darker than I wanted it to be. So then I ended up adding the chalk paint again to lighten it up, and I think this did a really good job of giving it some texture and dimension. And once all that paint was dry, then I just went through and sprayed it with a matte sealer for protection, since I plan to put this outside. So once that's done, I'm going to be taking this lamb's ear that I got at Walmart. You get 2 of the picks for, I think it's $2. And I'm just going to be twister tying those on the bottom in case I want to change it out for different seasons. And then I trimmed off the ends on there. And then I'm going to be taking these really light pink roses I got at Dollar Tree, as well as some black wire that I'm just going to use to attach the ends of that lamb's ear on so it holds a little better. You could always attach foam on here and then you wouldn't have to worry about this. And then I'm just going to be adding those roses in. I want it to be pretty simple, so I'm only adding 3 of them. Now you could always add like a love sign across the middle if you really want. I like the simplicity of this. Then here I'm going to be taking these letters that I got at Walmart. I want to say at most they were like $2 each. And I'm just taking an X and an O, and I'm going to be taping off where I want to paint them. I didn't have painter's tape on this day, so I'm just using some masking tape. Then I'm going to be going in with Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I'm just going to be painting the lower half of these And I did end up giving them 2 coats just to make sure it was well covered. I covered the backs of them as well. So once that tape is cleared off, I think it looks really nice and clean, but I wanted a way to stand them up, so I took some of these tumbling tower pieces that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be aligning them on the different letters so that they'll stand up. So I'm just going to hot glue those together and then glue them to the letters themselves. I struggled a little bit on the O, so be careful, but eventually I got it to stand up. Then I'm just going to be covering those blocks in the white because they're in the lower half. I thought it would match well and blend in a bit better. And there you have it. So next I'm going to be updating my wood bead garland that I do for just about every season. So I got a pack of these hearts at Dollar Tree. There's 8 in a pack. And then I'm taking some of this yarn I got at Dollar Tree. It's kind of like a maroon pink color, and then some black and white ribbon. I'm going to be taking those snowflakes off and interchanging them with the hearts. So once that's done, I'm going to be adding some tassels. I'm going to take this pink yarn, wrap it around my fingers, I think like 20 times. If you haven't seen how to make a tassel before, there are plenty of videos on YouTube you can check out. And then I'm just going to space those out evenly between all the hearts. I think there's 5 beads between each one. And then I'm going to be taking this ribbon and just tying it on. I thought it added a nice little extra element. And then I'm just kind of going to eyeball these along the way. I think I skipped 3 beads between or so, and then just kind of trim them however. Yeah, and I thought this was a nice update to my bead garland that I hang. Up next, I'm taking this large heart that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be staining it with Valentine wood stain in dark walnut. Once it's all stained and dry, I'm going to cut the hanger off, which I should have done before staining it. Then I'm going to tape off where I want to paint some lines. Now, you could do this a lot better than I did. I kinda wasn't thinking when I did it and taped off both sets of them at the same time. I recommend doing one set at a time and then painting and then doing the other set. I'm just going to be taking Waverly white chalk paint and going over those lines. See here, this is where I realized, wow, I made a big mistake. Once I give those a nice 2 coats or so of paint, I peel it off. So I'm going to peel off that tape that I shouldn't have put on there anyway, so that I can get those lines. And don't make a mistake like I did. Instead, move the tape or add new tape and repaint it. Or do it the right way in the first place. You won't have to deal with this, but I came up with this on the spot to kind of cover my mistake. And I just took one of these little wooden hearts that I got at Dollar Tree, painted it white, and I decided to put it in the spot there. And actually, I think it adds a lot to the piece anyway, so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure and like and comment down below what your favorite thing I made today was. Also be sure and stick around for even more DIYs in the future. And thanks again. Bye!